everybody. Welcome in. We've got an exciting episode today. I'm here with Cassandra. Hey, Cassandra.
Hey, how are you? Good morning.
Doing good on this chilly morning. And also the legendary Joshua Cohen. Peace.
Just got back from running a marathon.
He did. He had to run out and get something. Me and Cassandra said, what do you have to get? And we're like, I don't know. Something to keep us live on air.
Yes.
And I am so excited because now we're live streaming on YouTube and we're live streaming on Facebook. And this is all because of Joshua. He was helping me out with my website,
Yes.
and with 2 or 3 seconds, he literally had it, and also taught me how to scroll down on
Yes.
the computer. So I garden. That's my skill.
That's your skill. I purchased. That's my skill.
That's your Yeah. So Cassandra treated me to a wonderful birthday present. I hadn't been to the movie theaters in years and years and years. I mean, probably like 5 or 6 years.
Right.
Seriously. And we watched the movie Homestead.
Homestead was a very beautiful movie. I really enjoyed it. It triggered me a little bit.
Yeah.
It made me want to go home.
I think it was supposed to.
Yeah, I think you're right. It was supposed to. I went home and started prepping a little bit more.
I did too. I got it. I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to live off the land. And, you know, I do a lot, but still I'm like, okay, I want to learn to make my own beer. I want to learn to do this. I want to, and really, I'm like, I was to the point where I thought that I was going to come and just cut off all the power to the house and see if I could survive. But then I'm like, Mad Bear would like that because she likes cold weather. She's a chow. But I don't think I could. That's going to be a biggest challenge for me, would be like living without, because our modern houses aren't set up that you can just run the fireplace. I have a fireplace.
Right.
But it's not very... Like, it had a fan that went to all the rooms, and now that got disconnected, so that might be another thing that I want to do. But, yeah, it was really, really fun, and we want people to call in, 803-799-8255. Call in, discuss, even if you hadn't seen the movie. I do want to ask people not to give any spoils that, that... and that word, I can't say oil anyway. You know what I'm trying to say.
Spoils.
Yes, don't spoil the movie for anybody. But one of the most important things I think came from the movies, what most of us gardeners trying to do anyway, is learn to grow vegetables.
Yes.
Because if you don't have any food, you don't have
nutrition. You don't have, when you think about the human being, us, we have to survive on 2 things, water and food.
Exactly.
And food can be medicine. Food can be nourishment. And I think that we need to start figuring out how, even in the smallest ways, how can we have some sort of sustainability when it comes down to if something happens. We've had a lot of recalls lately. Yeah. And people have to start making some decisions on going forward how you want to live.
And even if you don't garden, there's a lot of farms around. My farm, there's a lot of neighbors that grow food and just give out to people.
Yeah.
So keeping it more local is awesome. And the Homestead movie is kind of a apocalypse movie without the zombies,
I personally, I was looking for zombies. Well, 'cause that's my thing. But it didn't happen. But it was really... It made me start thinking very differently about my skills as well. My skills as far as if the grid was to go down, how would I survive? Would I be okay with just reading books?
Or if the food supply got so,
right. Would I be okay? How long would I be
Yeah.
okay? Because if you notice, I just want to get a little tidbit about the movie. I know you said no spoilers.
Yeah.
But it's just one thing in there that first, let me say this. That night, I made a loaf of bread.
Ooh.
And it came out better than I thought it was. I did not. And my first thought was to reach for your KitchenAid. But I said to myself, no, remember, you don't have power.
Exactly.
So what would you do if you didn't have the power? You wouldn't pull out that KitchenAid.
Ooh.
So I did it by hand. Was it tedious? Yes. My fingers hurt. But that was like, because I never needed that hard before.
I see you rubbing them.
I'm still rubbing, but it was the most fulfilling thing for me to see that I was able to make a loaf of bread without electricity.
Isn't that amazing?
Without my KitchenAid. Now, some people are like, I've been doing that for years, girl. You just not catching on. I get it. For me, that's new. Because I do take advantage of the modern conveniences of things.
Yeah, and also the wheat. And there's other plants that you can use to make flour out of, like acorns.
Yes.
I had forgotten about that till I saw this movie.
Actually, I realized that you can make flour from acorns watching The Walking Dead.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
You know, when Carol, they had lost their supply of food, and Carol went out and started foraging mushrooms and started foraging acorn and was making flour out of it. And you can also make coffee out of it. I didn't know that.
But y'all do not just go out and start eating acorns, because I think you have to boil them like the poke salad.
Right.
You've got to boil it like 3 different times to get kind of the poison. It's something in it. I can't remember what's in it, but yeah. It's also good for leather tanning. Did you watch any of the zombie movies?
No, I'm not a big zombie apocalypse scary movie kind of guy.
It's not scary. It just makes you think that, like for me, I'm a Walking Dead fan, and it just makes me think that I don't think we're going to get that far to have dead people walking around. At least I hope not.
I don't know. We got a few of them.
You know, right? Exactly. But it does make you start thinking, like, how would you be okay? Yeah. Would you be okay? And if you will be, how long? Because in the movie, the biggest thing was rationing.
Yes.
Well, saying anything about the zombie movies, I wouldn't necessarily say that's going to be a realistic thing, but a realistic thing is that our food supply,
absolutely.
You know, if there's, God forbid, something that happened to our country, you have a garden.
You have a garden.
Exactly.
You do.
And I looked up some of the top crops that you should grow in a apocalypse or a grid down situation, survival type thing. And I disagree with a few of them, because one of the ones was carrots. If I had to grow any, just a few crops in my backyard for a zombie apocalypse or any kind of grid down situation, food supply problem, carrots would not be one of the ones I would grow. I think they grow so slow.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it's not a constant harvest. You just harvest one time.
Right.
So we're going to get more into that. I want you to know that you can call in, because this is your show. Call us in, 803-799-8255. Call in to the point and ask us some questions, or tell us what you think would be the best survival food.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And you can also leave a comment on the Instagram, the Facebook and the YouTube. We have a little comment section there, and you can comment, and we will read it on the air and respond. So
that's cool.
We got a couple comments last week, so it's good to hear that for sure.
Yeah. So, again, that number is 803-799-8255, 803-799-8255.
And what's the YouTube?
Grow Your Garden with Sal.
And the Facebook is Grow Your Garden with Sal as well.
It is, yes.
All right, we'll be right back.
Thank you.
Hey gardeners, expert or beginner, come out and get your seeds and plants from Grow Your Garden with Sal this season. They're an SE certified farm offering local vegetable seedlings as well as plants and seeds. We teach you how to grow your garden even if you don't have a green thumb. Online at salslocalseed.com or visit 113 Hilltop Drive in Columbia. That's salslocalseed.com. Support your local farmers.
Hello, this is Stacy Huff, host of Huff Nation Sports Zone, each and every Saturday, 10 to 11 a.m. right here on 100.7 FM, The Point, and also 1470 a.m. It'll be a fun trip around the world of sports. Huff Nation Sports Zone, check it out.
If you step onto H&J Cattle Company's farm, you'll find third-generation farmers upholding the legacy. They embrace sustainability and take immense pride in their craft, raising cattle purely on nature's offerings, without growth hormones, antibiotics, or animal byproducts. The result? Unmatched quality beef that's not just good, it's the best in South Carolina. Experience the distinct flavor of our finest registered Hereford and Wagyu beef. Visit us online at handjcattle.co or on Instagram Instagram and Facebook at H&J Cattle CO.
Hi, I'm Tazima. Join me every Saturday at 11 a.m. for Small Business Saturday. We'll celebrate business owners in our community while learning their stories of success and failure. It's Small Business Saturday right here at 100.7 The Point.
Time is running out to save big. Koala Insulation of the Midlands wants to help you make the most of it. Did you know you could claim up to $1,200 in tax credits with the IRA Section 25C Energy Efficient Home Improvement Credit? Now is the perfect time to improve your home's insulation and start 2025 with lower energy bills. We offer special 0% financing options to make it even easier. Call us today at 803-728-6082 for a free assessment. Experience energy savings and comfort. Koala Insulation of the Midlands.
Hey everybody, welcome back. I feel like I'm in a 90s club.
Right.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yes,
So
we
anyway.
are Gen Xers. We are Gen Xers, yes.
Love the music early in the morning. Thank you, Joshua.
We do have a disco ball in the studio.
Oh, we might need to do that. Oh, we do.
Oh,
wow.
that's cute.
You thought I was joking?
Yeah.
We did. I like the fireworks you did on your sports talk show. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I always try to spice things up on New Year's Eve, so.
Yes.
And Christmas, I had some garland up on the screen. So.
Ooh, I
Maybe I
missed
should have
that
done that
one.
here, but yeah, try to theme our streams around holidays, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe Thanksgiving, I'm
Ooh.
just going to put a big old turkey right on the
That'd
screen.
be cute.
That would be great, a vegetarian turkey.
Yes.
I don't think
Is
they
it
make
such
those.
thing as that?
No.
No.
I'll tell you what, though.
Don't try to make your tofuki.
Yes.
Speaking about the food, that Misfits dinner was great.
Oh my God, I had such a blast.
Wasn't that so much fun? And
It
thank
was.
y'all so much for coming out and helping out. It was just fantastic. Y'all,
I enjoyed it so much. Every year I enjoy it.
we're
and,
building a community here.
yes,
You know, and just letting people know about the different farms. And we're here for you. We're here to teach you to grow
Yes.
grow crops. And right now we're talking about some of the crops that you would grow in a survival situation. I said that carrots, in my opinion, wouldn't be the greatest thing. But let's should we go to the plant of the week yet, or should we go down the list first?
Let's go down the list first.
Okay. Let me pop up my list. And hey, y'all can comment on YouTube and Facebook too. So y'all give us some hollers.
As a matter of fact, we actually have a couple comments. Let me pull them up.
Yay.
Tish says, "Love the knowledge." As you pull that up, as you pull up your list, I'm gonna read these things off. Tish
Yeah.
says, "Love the knowledge and wisdom I get from Sal. Very reachable," she says. So that's very
Aw.
nice. She also says, "I'm getting more into her herbs and flowers for teas and cooking. I've been looking for hibiscus to have for her own tea."
Ooh, yes. Michael Frank told us about the hibiscus tea that he does. So we definitely need to have him come and teach a class.
I drink it
sometime.
every day.
And
It's
speaking of Mr. Frank, he commented, "Bring in a heritage breed turkey from Doko Farm."
Ooh, yeah, that's true, and that's going to be on the list too. So yeah, so we'll talk about chickens in just a second.
Yes.
And Michael Frank, we need you to do a class for us. And talking about classes, we do have a class today. It's really, really full. We got 25% participants. And it's about how to start your seeds, how to start in pots, and we're really going to go over. It's kind of a patio garden type thing because you
Right.
can grow anywhere.
You can grow anywhere, and that's one thing I always tell people: stop thinking that you have to have a big plot to grow something. You can grow in big, nice pots. You can grow
Yeah.
in a coffee can.
You
if
can.
if you know what you're doing.
And a lot of these pots are going to be small because
Right.
people are going to be taking home 5 pots.
Right.
Now, I did put in.
And the misfix, I wanted to bring that up. You put in each one of the gift bags chives,
Yes, I did.
and I actually planted mine.
How are they doing?
They doing well. They're doing. I snipped some last night. They grow actually really quick.
They're really quick. And that's one of the crops that I think would be very beneficial in a grid down situation are onions. One thing about them, you plant the bulb goes right on top of the ground.
Right.
It grows to green. That green can keep coming back over and over and over
Right.
again. So you can keep using it.
But I want to say, it's not just a class. You're not just there to learn. You get to take stuff home, right?
Yes. So you're going to take 5 pots home. Now, the pots I put a disclaimer on my website. The pots are not as decorative as the pots that are on my picture on the website.
Yeah.
They're going to be just black pots. But if you want something more decorative, you can always set the black pots
Inside the little pot,
inside of another pot. So we're going to be doing onions, rapé, which is a high, which I think also is great for any kind of grid down situation. And just good. All this stuff is great to grow now because
up until April.
The 5 things anyway in the pots we're doing, not all the stuff that we're talking about on the grid down situation. Because rapé, it's called rape in Africa. Rapé is kind of the politically correct name we use.
Yeah, I was gonna say on the radio. Let's use
rapé. Sorry, y'all. But it's a very nutritious green. It doesn't need a lot of room to grow, and you can cut it, and it keeps coming back, just like your onions.
Right.
We're also going to be doing a couple lettuces, which will be fun. And what was the other one? Oh my gosh, I had picked out 5 different things. But yeah. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we are going to have it in the greenhouse. Me and Tracy worked really hard to get it cleaned up yesterday because the wind picked up and it got cold, real cold. Really? So the greenhouse is heated, kind of. I mean, it's going to be about, it'll be better than outside.
Right.
Yeah, it's what I think. Let me get a weather check here and
it's our weatherman,
this is
Josh.
Gonna be cold. It's just. It's so rude. It's so cold.
Yes, but do not don't take your winter greens and put them in a greenhouse, especially if you're in South Carolina, Florida, Alabama, the southern states, because it's going to be too hot in there during the day.
But you think, just keep doing what you're doing? There's nothing like, right now, it's going to get cold. It's going to probably be back in the 70s within the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
So, you don't really want to do anything. You can't really, there's nothing you can do about the weather change.
You could cover them up, couldn't you?
You can, but I didn't cover any of my collards for that cold weather, and I had the collards for, I harvested everything, and I cut and come again, so the collards are going to come back up.
Right.
I harvested everything. Now, there's some people up north, like in Dillon, where it got even colder. Definitely covering. But they weren't. They got acres and acres and acres, so they couldn't cover their stuff.
Right.
Also, I've got trees around, not blocking the sunlight, but kind of keeping the temperature up just a teeny bit more. So all this stuff is cold hardy, but if it stays ground freezing, like the ground actually freeze, which is rare here. For a prolonged period of time, that's when you're going to run into a little bit of trouble.
Right.
Yeah, it's about 30 degrees outside, and I think last night it got down to like 20 something.
Yeah, and that's nothing for our greens. That's totally fine. Now, a lot of the people that lost their greens up north are growing in big commercial type settings, and it's not cut and come again. So even if they got frosted and they were able to just cut the damaged leaves off, they would come back. But a lot of this stuff is going to be picked, by machinery and So, and they won't. Another thing to recognize: the stuff you grow in your garden isn't necessarily going to look like the big showroom quality stuff in the grocery store.
It will not.
Yeah,
I had to learn that myself because. I'm a huge fan of one of our previous plants of the week, which is bok choy, and mine looked better than what was in
and tastier
than what was in the store. And I said to myself, what did I do? Did I do something wrong? This is actually good.
Yeah,
this is better. Did
it's
I
not
leave it in there too long?
full of chemicals.
It's not. And let me tell you something. You don't need chemicals to grow.
No,
you do not need chemicals to grow.
Well, you do, but not like commercial chemicals.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like I use my chicken manure. I didn't use anything else in like the my egg shells and different things.
But you also compost.
I compost a lot. It's ridiculous how much I compost. I hang out in my compost bin.
And play with the worms.
If it's like a in the world scenario, we gotta have ways to. If we're gonna keep up our garden when there's no food. You gotta have fertilizer.
Absolutely.
You can't buy a bag of tomato tone from Sally. You gotta have natural ways because. It's the end of the world. Sal will always have it. She's always gonna have it. But
y'all come.
she's always gonna have it if you need it. But
in a grid down situation, you can't travel somewhere.
Right.
And we've got a great video up on how to make your own fertilizer from organic stuff that you normally would throw away.
Right.
I try not to throw away anything, even like meat. If my parents have bones, I'm gonna make bone broth for the dogs.
Absolutely.
To boil with some rice.
You can also boil it down. Once you boil it down and you make the broth, you can also take those same bones because they're brittle now, and you can actually post them down.
Yep.
And make bone meal.
Yep. And then
put it
them
right
back
in your
into
garden. Right, absolutely.
Now, keep in mind that bone meal, a lot of people think that adds calcium to.
No, it doesn't.
But it doesn't. That's
No.
phosphorus. The bone, the calcium's in the inner bone, and that's kind of what you're boiling out.
Right.
Yeah, so good thing to know. If you want to add calcium, don't go to bone meal.
You got a couple more comments just came in. Kat says she doesn't have chickens, but she does have quail.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know a lot of people around here that have quail.
There's a good bit of people. They're a little harder to raise. So that's the next step up after you learn the chickens.
Right.
Yeah. So
I'm not there yet.
Yeah. You're not there yet.
Not there yet. No.
And
the eggs are smaller, right?
The eggs are smaller. Yeah.
And then Tish has a question. She says she's been having a lot of worms since her peaches last year. What can she do to stop the worms and black spots on her grapes last year? She was hearing that she should use dormant spray. I'm not sure.
Okay, it's two different things. So the worms on the peaches, you're pretty much going to have to spray them. There are some covers that you can put on there, depending on how tall your peach tree is.
Right.
And then there also are these little bags you can put around too, but it's hard to do organically unless you're going to go to that trouble.
Right.
There is a fruit spray that we have, but you need to not spray when you see the bees and the flowers. So you got to time it right.
Please do not spray, people. Please don't spray.
And then she says, "Is it too late to plant onions and garlic?"
No.
No, not at all. Now garlic's a little hard to find right now. I've got some ordered. I hope to have it in February, but yeah, we still got onions. Pretty much any of your cool weather crops you can plant right now.
Up until April.
I'd say up to the end of April.
Yeah.
I'd say the end of March, really.
Really?
That'll give you safely,
right. Because you have to let the ground turn over on its own, start warming on its own even more. Because I don't put my tomatoes out until May.
Yeah, exactly.
But I start inside in March.
And that's a real good skill to start learning too, is when to plant. We are fortunate in Homestead; they had a really brutal winter.
Yeah.
We normally don't. So if grid goes down here, we are able to grow year round.
Right.
And a lot of people say, "Oh, I don't think there's anything you can grow." Well, walk outside and see what's green outside.
Right.
That's just going to go prove. And we actually have food that
Right.
So we are live on YouTube and on Facebook.
Right.
Of course, I talked into the wrong mic. Typical. Most people are listening on Facebook, and we got Tish. Yolanda says good morning. Good morning to you.
Hey, Yolanda.
Good morning.
And so we got a good little listener here. Hopefully, we'll grow that in the next couple weeks. But
yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, it should be really fun. We're streaming. We got a camera on you, camera on
Thank you,
camera on me. Everybody has a camera. Like, who's that famous person? You get a car. What's
Oprah?
Oprah. There it is. It's like Oprah here at the point.
And we'll see you after the break, y'all.
WQXL Columbia.
Bring you so you're not powerless.
Welcome back. I'm here with Cassandra and Josh, and we are talking about the movie Homestead, even though Josh hadn't seen the movie yet. But we're talking about what crops you can grow, and then we're going to get into chickens after that. But this is my pick, okay? Potatoes.
That's your plant of the week? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm going down if it's a
Okay.
grid down situation, the crops that you need to grow. And potatoes in the South, you grow in, you'll plant around February. Potatoes get a bad rap, but, they're calorie dense, slow moving carbohydrates.
Complex carbohydrates.
Yeah, complex, so they're slow in the gut.
Right.
And if it's a grid down situation, you need a lot of energy. I eat potatoes every single morning. I eat me a baked potato.
Yeah.
I actually fry it in some butter. So I bake it, fry it in butter, but every morning, and that gives me the energy I need to do all my farming.
I like sweet potatoes.
And sweet potatoes are on the
every single
list.
day. I made sweet potato nachos last night with lentils instead of ground beef.
And both of these things you can store. And the
Yes.
good thing about sweet potatoes, you can also eat the leaves. We're like the only
Yes.
country that
That
does
don't eat
not
the leaves.
they think
Yeah.
we're weird Americans.
Right. Yeah.
You're throwing that away?
I eat the leaves off of carrots, turnips, and sweet potatoes.
Very, very
And they're
good.
very good.
Not Irish potatoes, though.
No.
They're poisonous.
No.
No,
No.
not all Irish potatoes, but sweet
No.
potatoes. And sweet
Yeah.
potatoes are a hot weather crop.
Yes.
Yep. And it's kind of like the I see Josh giving us a funny look, but the sweet potatoes actually taste like spinach when they're cooked. I call it a summer spinach.
They do. And it's good in smoothies too. I always tell people chop off the leaves and then you can either just blanch them and then put them in your smoothies or put them in a salad.
Soup is good too.
Soup is real good.
Soup's
So
really good.
I always tell people, and then when you peel them, wash them real good, peel them. You can actually spray some olive oil onto the skins after you pull them off. Put some seasoning on it and air fry them, and they're the most beautiful chips.
Yep, they're
You can
really
also make
good.
sweet potato fries.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I'm not a big fan of sweet potato fries.
I like sweet potato fries.
But the leaves are something you should do. And sweet potatoes grow in hot weather, and
Yeah.
they don't need a whole lot of care other than keeping the deer. It's like crack to deer and rabbits, so you really got to try your best to keep them out. Go
Right.
adopt the beagle or a dog from the pound.
Right.
Let them, protect your crops.
Right.
So sunchokes, we've been talking about that. I definitely think sunchokes, they're super easy. They multiply. You're never going to get rid of them once you plant them. And I've had some people talk bad on my website my Facebook page. Why are you telling people to plant sunchokes? It's invasive. It's a native, and I always tell people to plant them in pots. Unless you have a big field that you want them to take over, plant them in pots.
Plant 'em in pots.
In pots, it's not going to be a problem.
That's like mint. You have to put mint in pots.
Yeah,
because it can be very
exactly.
invasive.
And mint will jump out of the pot.
Yeah, it will. But if you just take it out, if it gets too big in the pot, take it out, cut it in half, put it in another pot.
Yep. And do we have a caller?
Yeah, Miss Sherry is on the line.
Sherry.
There she is.
Hello.
Hey.
Good morning.
That's why mine are in a cinder block bed, and they had yet to come out of, which is great. But I heard you talking about leaves when I turned it on. I take carrot leaves and I dry them in the dehydrator and just put them in a little jar. And then if I need to add something to soup or whatever, it just gives it a little bit different flavor. You can put it in salads, use it fresh in place of parsley. And there's never, and even keep the stems, throw them in the soup. It gives you good flavor in those too. I have not tried it, but I'm pondering using it to make pesto. What do you think?
Yes, I've done that.
A little bit, though, because it's really strong.
It's strong. If you don't have a problem with it being a little bit strong, then I have done it. It's the most beautiful thing in the world. If you do not,
I'll have to try that.
I'm sorry.
I'll have to try that then. That sounds
It's
like a good idea.
Miss Sherry, let me tell you something. The first time I tried it was only because my basil wasn't acting right. That was the only reason why it was not, my basil was just not coming up at the most I would have liked for it to come up. And I had fresh picked carrots, and I had all the tops to them. And I just looking at the tops like, well, what am I going to do? I don't need this.
Don't throw it away.
And then somebody say, make a pesto. And I'm like, okay, I'll try it. Try it. And it came out better than I expected it.
What is your, Sherry, what would be the one crop, if you had to pick to survive off of in a grid down situation, that you planted outside?
Well, you said a lot of those words, but unfortunately she hung up. I'm not sure if she dropped or what happened, but you want me to tell you mine?
Yeah.
Mine would definitely have to be potatoes.
Potatoes?
Yeah.
Sweet potatoes or Irish potatoes?
Just regular potatoes. I don't know.
You can do a lot with potatoes.
Just regular potatoes. You can make mashed potatoes, French fries, which I'm not a big fan of homemade French fries.
Oh man,
It looks
I
like
love it.
I think there's another caller here. Let me see. Is this Miss Sherry?
Yeah, it is. I was in a dead zone or something going
All
on. I'm
good.
not sure.
It's 2025 and we can't have full cell phone coverage anymore
right?
at all. I mean, we can have
Let's
flying.
blame it on the cold. As much as I hate the cold, we'll blame it on the cold.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. You can have a
but anyway,
plane. You can have a plane that goes anywhere in the world, but you can't have a cell phone drop in a city.
I
It makes no
know.
sense. But
So
Yeah,
what
it's
would
crazy.
be your
It's crazy.
your one crop? Like what do you think is the most important crop to grow for a grid down event?
For me,
Yeah,
it
your
would be
personal opinion.
onions. Yeah, no. Well, the problem is that's it. For me, it would be onions. For my husband, it would be tomatoes. So
Yeah, and both of those are on my
care less
list.
about the onions.
Yeah.
Yeah, both of those are on my list.
But I also have a pear tree, and I would hope that would continue to survive because there's a lot you can do with pears.
I have two
you
pear
You
trees.
can use, it's like anything else. You can use the whole body of it.
Yes, you
too,
can.
so.
And you remember what they said that I didn't even know in the movie about the pears, that they made the pear wine in order to preserve the calories.
The kids were making peach and pear wine, and she was saying how it goes down and ferments and it's naturally sweet, and she said it's also good for your gut.
Yeah,
That's what she said was good for
good for your gut.
Yeah.
I want to know how you get the calories
Well, you can make so
from
much
all.
out of it.
See, that might be where they're going to it because I'm
Right.
thinking if you just sit there and you need calories and you're drinking a peach wine, you're not going to get a lot of work done on the farm.
I think wine is
Well,
very
you don't have
different
to
than liquor.
let it go into wine. You can just make juice out of it. Though.
Right. And when it starts
okay.
to
Just make
ferment, it
juice,
goes
or
into
you can
wine.
do sauce into it. You can make. I use it for pear sauce rather than applesauce. I have pear wine in the cabinet right now.
Ooh.
You can reduce it down and make a glaze out of it. Syrup. You're limited by your own imagination.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
You could substitute it in other things. Probably like mine are those hard. Well, say how you've had them. There's those hard green pears. Get creative
Bacon
and
pears.
make a soup out of them. I mean, yeah.
Bacon. We call them bacon
So,
pears
anyway,
because
you just-
a lot of the
So you really got to cook them a lot to be able to eat them a lot.
Yeah, the fruit trees, the apple trees around here that we grow, and because we get so hot, are a little bit more harder, like cooking type.
Right.
I'm not saying you can't grow the other type, but yeah, it's more of the hard type. And Sherry's going to be hosting a class. I think. Did we say the 18th?
Yes.
I think
after
it's
we
the
get
18th.
Sunchokes this week.
Yeah, I have not put it up on my website. That's my thing to do Sunday. Because a lot of people don't know how to eat the sunchokes, how to prepare the sunchokes. So we're going to be pickling them. I think maybe frying them too, and just showing people how to harvest them, how they grow. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, when to harvest them and when not to harvest them.
Yeah, very, very important.
Yeah,
And
which by all the cold we've had now, they're fine.
they are. Now, if they started sprouting back
Just
up
eat that way.
because it got hot during, because I think Josh said it's going to be up to like
it's going up to 60 on Monday. I think I saw.
60. 60 is okay.
Sorry, it's
not
one of
gonna
Yeah,
the
but it's
sprout.
supposed to rain, so it shouldn't be that bad.
Yeah, tomorrow tomorrow on
Well,
Sunday it's
good,
gonna
I'm
be 50.
excited.
Tomorrow on Sunday it's gonna be 50. Then Monday it's gonna be 62, and then back down to 48. So that's the highs.
And see, that's always a challenge for us in South Carolina, in South Carolina, it's
Yeah.
just going up and down and up and down. Like, yeah, the temperatures are
South
definitely
Carolina
a challenge.
says, "Hold my beer, watch me work."
Amen.
That's right. That's why you got to get creative with your food. Well, y'all have a wonderful day. I'll talk with you later, Sal.
Thank you, Sherry.
Have a good rest of your day. Thank you, Sherry.
Okay, so potatoes, sweet potatoes, sunchokes, rape, moringa, the tree of life. I
Yes.
think everybody needs to grow is a hot weather crop again.
Yes.
And did we have a call?
No, it was just
Okay.
her.
Oh, okay. It's a hot weather crop, and I actually have a short video. What's it called? Shorts.
Yeah, just a YouTube short or whatever, Facebook,
Yeah.
Instagram short.
Where we were harvesting the root to use for horseradish. The moringa tree is also called the horseradish tree. Horseradish is a little finicky around here to grow because of our growing periods.
Right.
You can grow it. I've grown it before. but the roots is hard to get thick. And moringa would be an alternative for horseradish. It's got 98 vitamins in it. It's got all your amino acids, and it grows potentially 6 inches every 24 hours as long as it's hot weather. So some like it hot, they like it hot.
They like it hot.
They like it hot.
Got a couple comments on the Facebook and YouTube. Do you have the Facebook comments up or just the YouTube?
I don't know what I got up. To tell you the truth.
Oh, no worries. Miss Susan says, can you repeat the date for the program on growing and preparing sunchokes?
Yes. Hang on. Let me look at my calendar real quick. I'm
Was
gonna
it the
have it
18th
up
with
on
Miss
the.
Sherry, or was that
It's the
something else?
18th,
Yeah.
and we'll have it up on the website. Go to growyourgardenwithsal.com and sign up for our newsletter and notifications. It's super important. That way, because I put stuff on Facebook, but it doesn't always get everywhere.
Yeah, I think one thing, there's a lot of videos on YouTube, which I didn't realize. We have a lot of videos. You have a lot of videos up on your YouTube, just on the fertilizers. On,
Right.
I think we should do a farm tour.
Oh, that'll
What do
be
you
a lot
think?
of fun.
That would be a lot of fun.
I think that should be fun, and
Yeah.
just showing you the different parts and why it's important to have different parts to a farm. You don't have to have the animals, but it's good to have that fertilizer and stuff. And
And
there's
that would be
the
a fun
seeds that you
video.
have in the store, and
It's
and
massive. Your seeds
yeah.
collection is massive.
Yes, it's definitely ready for a grid down situation.
Right. Oh, absolutely. And I'm gonna be honest with you. You know, one of the things that was referring back to The Walking Dead, and when you said seeds, one of the biggest things that I saw in one of the episodes was that they went to the National Archives
I remember
in
you
Washington
saying that.
in Washington D.C. and the issue with the wonderful thing about that was that the National Archives has started harvesting seeds,
Yeah.
heirloom seeds,
And saving them.
and saving them, and they had a full Rolodex. Is that true? I found out that was true.
Isn't that so cool?
That is so
Can you
true.
come organized by seed room like that?
I will.
We'll be right back, y'all. Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We're going over our list real quick, and then we're going to give to the plan of the week. Our list of what my personal opinion would be the top crops you would grow in a grid down situation that would give you the most benefit. We had touched on cherry tomatoes. I think cucumbers too, because cucumbers have a lot of nutrients, and if you grind them up and make them into a juice, it kind of concentrates it. It gives
Right.
you a lot of boost and a lot of energy.
Yes.
And then butternut squash. It's one of the squashes that we can grow here that the vine borers don't destroy.
Right.
And then I am on the fence about cabbage, but cabbage does preserve very well. And we have a caller.
yeah, caller, you're on the line. You're live.
Uh-oh.
You there?
We don't bite.
Greetings.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. This is Kiami.
Hey, how are you, hon? How are you
Good
doing?
morning.
Michelle, how's it going?
It's going
I caught
good.
you. At the end, I caught you, though.
What do
I
you...
just wanted
Go
to-
ahead.
No, go ahead.
What would you think would be the most important survival crop if you just had one to choose? And it doesn't have to be off my list.
Do you mean
Like if there's a grid down situation and what do farmers or what do backyard growers, farmers, gardeners, what would be your one go-to crop to survive? Because you've got a family. What would you grow out there in a grid down situation?
Ooh, that's kind of tricky because just one plant.
Oh, top plant. Your
One,
top
I
plant.
can't do it. Oh, top. Oh, my top. Okay,
Yeah.
I was about to say.
One plant, yeah, would be kind of hard. So yeah, top plant. That's my fault.
I'd say collards.
Collards?
Yeah.
It sounds crazy, but hear me out. Because collards, you can do a plethora of things with collards. Even if you're sick, you can take the juice, aka the pot liquor, and utilize that to get yourself well. So I like collards. They're pretty versatile.
And they grow big and quick, and you can keep cutting them, and they keep coming back.
Right.
Yep.
Now they do need some extra food, so you've got to learn how to make your own fertilizer in a grid down situation. We got a great video on how to do that. How you ferment your waste, such as weeds, all kind of different things. You ferment it, and that way you don't have the seeds to come back up. And then it only takes 3 days, maybe a couple more days if it's cold. And we'll definitely have a class on that.
Right.
And talking about classes, you're going to come out and do a class. I hadn't got any information out yet, but you're working on it about survivalism.
Yes. Excuse me. Yes. That's that's basically what I teach people is how to survive in any situation, especially grid down situations. Military background with that, so I definitely will be teaching that in herbalism classes as well, which is all sustainability to me because every aspect teaches you how to be self-contained, how to survive.
And how can they
without
find
needing
you?
Any outfit.
How could they find you if they're interested in some of your classes?
I am on Facebook as Kiami Ortiz. And they can reach out to me that way because all of my social media is now being revamped.
Yeah, we're doing a lot of that. That's fantastic. That's
Kiami,
fantastic.
let me ask you a question. What's a good herb to make into tea for menopause?
Ooh, menopause.
I'm definitely interested in that too. Now, menopause, not men
I didn't mean to say it like
but menopause.
I didn't mean to say it like that, like, ooh, menopause, but, hey, look, even in my category,
Yes.
we're making
even in
Joshua
my category,
Yes.
oh gosh, even in my category, there's like pre-menopause pause too. I didn't know that. Some of my buddies in my age bracket are going experiencing that. So of course, glad you said this, Cassandra, because they're of course about to put me to work. So, but red clover is really good for night sweats.
Ooh.
Red clover is good with like female reproductive, systems anyway.
Okay.
Now, it tastes kind of horseradishy. Can you pick it just right out and just eat it like that, or do you have to make it into a tea?
I would make it into a tea.
Right.
Okay.
I mean,
it's very strong.
People can do what they want, but I would make it into a tea. I wouldn't really do black cohosh. I like red clover. Okay. Black cohosh isn't bad. It's just sometimes it depends on your liver functions.
Right.
No, okay.
St. John's wort, passion flower, hops. I don't know how the heck I forgot hops.
Hops. What about red raspberry?
In it.
What about red raspberry?
I think red raspberry would be good too because I also utilize that for my moon cycle. So
okay,
yeah, red raspberry is another good one.
The mules, they come in heat. The female mules, I've got one, and oh my God, she she's a witch when she comes in heat, and yeah, so you can use the dry leaves of the raspberry, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's supposed to help calm them, Yeah, it works so with her.
Really?
I just leave her alone, though, when she's...
Here's your herbs. Have a nice day.
Yes, exactly. Don't bite nobody today, Miss Ricochet. She's only bad for like a week, though.
Welcome to the world, Miss Ricochet.
I know, right? Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate you calling in the show. Is there anything else you wanted to add, hon?
Cassandra, call me.
I shall.
Glad that I got you on here. Yes, you've been hiding like I do sometimes, but
that's
we
not
need to
true.
chat because
it's crazy.
See,
it's crazy up here lately. Now it's when you think you're done with one thing. When you think you're done with one thing, here comes something else.
Especially after watching the Homestead movie, because now we have so much to do.
Now I'm making bread. I'm making bread and passing it out. I'm passing out eggs and bread for free.
So you making bread now?
I'm making bread now.
Isn't that awesome?
Okay, we need to chat. See,
Yes.
we've got to chat. We've got to stay online with each other. Me, you, Miss Sal, and all the ladies
Yes.
that are alike, and the men folk. No offense to the guy over there.
Yeah.
I'm just the guy over
we
there. That's
allow
all.
everybody
We
to
allow
come
everybody
in.
come in,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. Male, female, everybody. But
Everybody's
yeah.
coming. We got
Because
some.
I'm not going to be stuck in the kitchen in a grid down
No,
situation.
I'm not either.
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
no, me
I'm gonna
either,
teach
'cause
everybody
That's not
else.
I like
what, that's not what I'm doing.
Yeah. No.
Yeah,
Well,
I ain't gonna be in the kitchen.
I know,
But
right?
thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
And we all need to, definitely stay in alignment because of what's happening. I know y'all see it, y'all
Yeah.
feel it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna get there. I haven't seen the Homestead movie
Please
yet
go
because I'm
see it.
out here
Please.
building my homestead.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what we're all busy doing. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
Every
thank
day.
you. Thank you so much, hon, and keep in touch, okay?
All right, I sure will. Y'all have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Thank you, hon.
With about 3 minutes left, give us your plant of the week.
The plant of the week is the turnip.
Woo.
It's a very beautiful. It's sweet. It's white turnip. You can use the entire plant.
Mm-hmm.
Some people. My mother used to mix mustard greens and turnip greens when she made her greens.
Mm-hmm.
She very rarely used collards. She would only use collards around New Year's.
Collards stay kind of bitter until that frost hits, so
Right.
a lot of times you'll use different type
Right.
greens, and you don't have to just use collards.
My mother used mainly just turnip greens and mustard greens, and she would take the turnip, the bulb of it, because if you look at how the turnip plant is, the top is the green and the bottom is the bulb. So the most fantastical thing about that plant is that you can use the entire plant.
You can either cut the top and let it keep coming up, or
Right.
you can harvest the whole bulb. The white turnips are a lot sweeter than
They're
the purple
very
top.
sweet. They're very sweet. They're a root vegetable.
And they grow in like 45 days, which
Right.
is insane.
Right.
So a good grid down situation. Also, you can leave them in the ground. If you have a bed that you need to rest, you can plant the turnips in there, and they'll start breaking up that root structure. And you can even let them rot into the bed to get nutrients.
That's what I'm
back
doing
in.
now. That's what I'm doing now. I've harvested some of them, and I've taken the green tops off the other ones because I juice with those. It's a good source of potassium. It's a good source of your B vitamins. If you're a person who struggles with your B vitamins, turnip, any type of green is good for that.
Yes.
But you also have to be careful because they can also promote in your system kidney stones.
Okay.
So you will have to cook them down a little bit and then put them in your dishes.
And that's if you're going to eat them every day.
Right, if you're going to eat
Yeah,
them.
or concentrated.
I eat greens every day because
I do too.
I try to avoid a lot of supplements and just try to get it from Whole Foods. I say
Yeah.
I try. I don't always accomplish that.
Yeah.
But you can start with your food.
And come out today to the store. Now, we have a
Absolutely.
class 11:30 to 12:30, so
Right.
it's going to be a little hectic during those hours. But you can definitely come out, get some turnip seeds. We'll be there till 3 o'clock. And we'll even show you how to grow them. So come out and get your seeds. I'm at 113 Hilltop Drive in Columbia. And if you haven't yet, sign up for our newsletter, growyourgardenwithsal.com.
And we got a bunch of comments. I can't get through all of them. Thank you very much for everybody listening. What kind of class is it, real quick? We have one comment asking what kind of class it is.
Okay, today is planting a food forest on your patio. So it's with different greens. We're going to be planting them by seeds. I will have another class because this was so popular. So if you want to get in on that, today's going to be crowded. So if you're okay with that, come on down. So see y'all at the store.